to stop. Tell me it would break your heart that you left me in all my dirty. You wanna roll with me, you wanna hold with me, you wanna make pies and get nowhere to go with me.
Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Sisters of the System. You just listened to Lost Without You by Robin Thicke.
Okay, and we are back with a very special guest. Some of you may have even seen them doing their business in the park. And if you have, you've wondered, what are they up to? Why don't you give us a little introduction and tell our listeners who you are?
Well, thank you, ladies. My name is Zoe Magnificent. That's my real name. It's on my driver's license and everything.
Period.
Yeah, thank you. I'm an artist. I practice as an artist, and I've used it as my emotional work, as my spiritual work, as my creative outlet. I'm a painter, I'm a visual artist. Talking about art on the radio is kind of fun for me. But I'm also a lawyer. I'm a father. I wear a lot of different hats, and I have tried to harmonize everything within myself, or find some alignment within myself. And part of that is practicing being creative and proving to my own nervous system that I can feel safe in new and different situations that felt unsafe to me in my past. So doing art in the park where other people can see me, where I would normally be very nervous, and I am, to be seen, to be playing, getting used to that and getting to start playing and get into that play state is really a lot of fun for me.
Beautiful. So how long necessarily have you been on this journey? I know you mentioned being a lawyer, a father, an artist, using your art through healing. How long ago has it been since you started this?
I would have to say since I was a child. I think my creative expression, my drawing or my art has been the one thing that goes all the way back to the beginning for me, where this has been my way of preferring to express myself. So it goes a long way back. When I've been intentional with it, when I started telling my therapist, I think I'm going to use my art as part of my safety plan, so that when I'm overwhelmed with my own emotional experience, I can do healthy and safe things with my hands that don't hurt me, that don't hurt other people, and get me through that experience without the regret that I had.
Can we take a pause for a minute and talk a little bit about your safety plan? I don't think that a lot of our listeners are going to be familiar with the term for emotional regulation or for self-harm prevention. I think when we hear safety plan, a lot of us think of where are we going to meet up if there's a fire?
Okay. Well, I'd be happy to talk about that. For me, I developed a very unhealthy fantasy when I was young that if I had died, I would be loved in a way that I wasn't feeling loved being alive. And so I didn't hurt myself at first, but I would fantasize about how much people would love me if they experienced my loss. And that developed into all kinds of different self-harm, unhealthy, self-hating thought patterns that were designed to keep me safe, that I was trying to feel the love that I wasn't feeling, but it was a fantasy, it wasn't reality. And it was killing me. It was very unhealthy for me. So what I'm saying when I'm talking about my safety plan is I'm talking about the different alarms that I have, the different ways that I notice, hey, I'm not thinking clearly. Like, I remember when I thought about this, when I was designing my safety plan, I really want to stay alive and have a full life and be there for my kids. And right now I don't feel that way. And so when I don't feel that way, I have a plan. I don't need to be scared and say what's going to happen. I don't need to make any decisions right then. For me, having a safety plan is being prepared for feeling overwhelmed, being prepared for being scared or feeling worthless, and not having that surprise me as like a really dangerous thing, but having that exist as something that's part of the program, part of the plan. This guy can take care of that.
It almost sounds like you've lived your life and now you're at a point in your life where you've been able to identify things that really trigger you or things that really bother you or make you not feel your best or not feel yourself. And also that you've in turn created a method to help you through those things. It's almost familiar for you. You've become very familiar with those feelings so that you know how to help yourself out of those feelings.
There's a lot of talk around feelings. When I grew up, I didn't know what feelings were. My dad to this day insists he doesn't experience them, and he thinks that they're confusing or worthless. They're bad information, and that's the experience that I had growing up. And so when I grew up and was feeling these enormous adult feelings that get bigger and bigger as you get older, I didn't have any framework for it. So then there was this idea that I could feel happy or something negative. And the idea of calling a feeling negative holds a rejection in it. It's, I don't want to feel this, but it already is there. It's inside of me, and I've worked really hard to notice my feelings, to be able to accept them, to be able to think about them and feel them for longer and longer periods of time without panicking, and knowing that I have a plan for how to feel, what to do with my hands when I feel angry. Makes anger not so dangerous for me. Makes anger not so scary for me. I don't wonder what I'm going to do when I'm angry. I know exactly what I do when I'm angry now.
That's beautiful.
So a lot of your artwork and your social media is kind of tailored around you painting on your own skin, which that in itself is absolutely beautiful. How would you say that that's reshaped how you feel towards yourself and your connection within your relationship with yourself and practicing self-love?
Ricky, thank you. I the way that I came to start painting on my skin was I was in an inpatient place receiving some pretty intense help that I needed at the time, and I was painting little pictures of myself, and I was practicing trying to feel what it feels like when I start thinking in black and white, because when I start thinking in black and white, yes or no, there's only two options. That was one of the first signs that I noticed that I was thinking with a triggered brain, that I was acting triggered, that I'm not I'm not thinking with my full mind. I'm thinking from a place where I'm trying to protect myself from a long distant past experience happening again in the present. And the long distant past experiences that I was afraid of were largely being afraid of dying of cancer, because I had cancer when I was a kid and had no real emotional support or understanding around it.
Wow.
Now I just lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
Bringing up cancer kind of got me off track there. So in this inpatient place, when they were saying, bring all of your emotions or all of your healing work to the forefront, one of the phrases that they said was, make the implicit explicit. And so I was having even a hard time fully remembering a scary incident, because my brain just doesn't want to sit with that for long enough to actually experience it. So to force myself to sit with the scary emotions, with the scary memories that I had that were weighing me down, I sat down and painted them. And painting them out in that moment, that was the moment where I started seeing things in black and white. And so I put an X and an O on the eyes in the painting. And some weeks later, they made me take my paintings down, and I took that really personally. And it was because I was damaging the walls, but I thought it was because I had made somebody scared because I was making my dark paintings. And I was really defensive about it. And so I went and put it on my face. And that was the first time that I did it, and it was really, it was graffiti. It was my way of saying, you can control what goes up on the walls here, but I get to put what's on my face. And I was expecting to be scolded or something like that. My therapist said, I think that's a really nice idea. You go with that.
That sounds like a very supportive therapist to start off with. Well, you don't just create graffiti on walls. You use your body and face as a part of your art. Would you say that was kind of the start of your inspiration to help merge yourself and your physical self with your visual expression of self-love?
That's a really good question, and I haven't thought about it, so I'm not going to say no. But from the way that I've been thinking about it so far, I think that I was trying to use whatever creativity that I could, whatever creativity that I had. And at that moment, I had a bag of graffiti markers and some spray paint.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just trying to bring my creativity to the healing process. So if my healing process needs to take what's implicit and make it explicit, then I need to take the memories and put them on the paper. I need to, when I'm reminding myself of who I am and what I believe about myself, I want to feel it on my skin. It feels cold for a moment, and then it gets dry, and it gets a little bit tight. And every mark that I feel on my skin goes through a little bit of a process, and that records it on my memory as a physical experience. I say my affirmations into a mirror. I say my reminders into a mirror, because I really like to I like to make it as much of an experience as possible. You can't heal in your own mind, thinking quietly by yourself. Still, you have to move your hands and arms. You have to feel it. You have to breathe in and breathe out. You have to experience the healing. You have to convince your nervous system that something is different, that something has changed about you. So I didn't have the rituals from my religious past, so I started making up my own little rituals to try to feel those things.
I think that it's super duper important that people understand, just that you can't heal yourself on your own in your mind silently. Like, you have to not avoid the emotion. You have to sit in it. You have to feel it, understand it, recognize it, and that in turn will help you get through it, not just this time, but the possible next time that it comes.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry.
Please.
And also taking that time to actually put it somewhere, whether that's in a song or in a painting or in an outfit that you designed, finding a creative outlet, it's absolutely necessary for humans. We're naturally creative beings. We're naturally people that need to have connection and community. So if you're going to sit in your room sad, have no friends, not find any creativity, whether it's doodling on a piece of paper, that can become detrimental to your actual health and your mental health.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Displaying your art on your own body in a public place is a deeply vulnerable act. How do you navigate that vulnerability while still staying true to your artistic vision?
I do it in that way specifically because it's deeply vulnerable. I do it because I want to feel the experience of other people who don't know me, looking at me, making whatever thoughts they're thinking about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to experience what it feels like to tell my own brain, I don't know what they're thinking. It's none of my business what they're thinking, because I'm in here, I'm in this body, and I'm saying, I love you to myself. I'm saying, you are always whole to myself. And when other people are out there judging that they can have their opinions. This is what I'm doing for me. And so it's because of the experience of like getting used to that and accepting myself being not universally liked, that I can get used to being the human being that I actually am.
That is tough work. That's really, really hard. I wouldn't say for personal experience, but just imagining somebody who's having a really hard time accepting that vulnerable part of them and then deciding, I'm going to face this straight on and I'm going to go sit out in the public space and I'm going to do something that wouldn't be societally normal or accepted. And I'm going to practice minding my business and doing what I want to do. And I hope that inspires somebody else to mind their business and do what they want to do.
I don't even care if it inspires somebody else. I literally only do it for myself.
Oh,
That
I
was
hope
our
it
question
does.
for us too. We were kind of wondering, like, you know, graffiti, it challenges a lot of societal norms when it comes to art in the first place. So, like you said, there's no inspiration or any person that you definitely want to draw for it. But if somebody were to pull a message from what you do, how you live your life, and your story, what would you hope that they could pull from it if somebody did?
I have a couple of things. The first one is you have a right to heal out loud. You have a right to heal in public, to be seen. You have a right to make mistakes. You have a right to learn from your mistakes, to change your mind. You have these choices. They feel like they were made a long time ago, but they are right in front of you in the present moment. It's important to heal out loud. It's important to affirm yourself out loud. Otherwise, you go and look for somebody else to say they love you. I can't be made whole by somebody else. I have to be whole within myself first. So it changes the way that I interact with anybody else, with any relationships too. So healing out loud and making any sort of self-improvement or self-care work only compassionate. Only self-compassionate. The way that you described, like you go out into a park and you do this, it sounded like you saw it as very powerful.
I do.
And I'm not feeling powerful when I do that. The reason that I go out into a park is because this is a part of myself, this creative person that wants to express himself. This is inside of me a part that I've abandoned. And so I'm earning my own trust back, that I can trust myself. When I want to go to a park and paint in the park, I can do that without worrying about whether or not this is going to make me look bad.
No, for sure.
So it's out of love, it's out of self-compassion, and it's with this deep tenderness that I'm like, okay, buddy, I'll take you out. And I talk to myself that way.
And I think that's part of why I find it so powerful, because I think that especially today, people just want to get out of their bodies. Like, people don't even want to live in their own minds or sit with their own thoughts, and to decide that, no, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to put myself first, and I'm going to find those broken pieces of me, and I'm going to fix them. I find a lot of power in that, because a lot of people, like you said, they just abandon themselves, and they decide that whatever decision they made about themselves back then is who they are and what it is, or that they don't give themselves permission to heal those broken pieces of them. So I definitely find a lot of power in how you cater to yourself and how you make sure that you're doing what you have to do for you to be who, like you said, the human being that you are.
Yeah, this is very, very sincerely suicide prevention work that I'm doing. And I can't give it to you and say, if you paint your face, you'll feel better too, or if you say these things while you draw on your skin, you'll feel better too, because this is the practice that I developed. This is only for me. It only works for me. You weren't even there when I painted this on the first time. I can tell you the story, but that's not yours. Mm-hmm. And so each person, I think, needs to find and develop for themselves their own healing practice, whatever is spiritual for you. And for me, I had chased down a whole bunch of different spiritual practices of other people before I started building this for myself. And it's different to come at it with that level of, this is only for me and it's only going to make me good. You come at it with a different sense of creativity then.
I think that's really beautiful. As an artist and a member of the community, a lot of the work that I do myself as an artist is tailored around helping kids and like healing the inner child. And, you know, like EB was saying, that's really powerful in itself. Whether your childhood was perfect and you just didn't get enough attention, or you were a hospital kid, that's what I call it, because I grew up in the hospital sick as a child, and then getting older and learning how to live life as a normal person and not being in the hospital but still being sick and all this back and forth. How we heal our inner child, it's up to us. You know, one shoe doesn't, you know, it's not one size fits all. We all have to follow our own journey. but healing that inner child in whatever walk of life it is, whether it's the music, the painting, or painting on your skin or somebody else's skin. As a face painter myself, seeing the kids smiling when I put a little glitter on them and face paint them, that brings a lot of joy to my heart and makes me feel better about whatever I've done in this world and every walk of life that I've been in. We've all got our own points, but just know that it is powerful. Whether it's for you, that kind of makes it more powerful in itself, because most of us are living for the next person instead of saying, what can I do for me while I'm here on this earth?
That living for the next person is specifically the trait that I'm trying to unlearn right now. It's not that I don't want to live for my son or to give to the community, but it's that I don't want to abandon myself, and I need to be that parent to me before I can be that parent to others. I can't listen to somebody else with compassion if I can't be compassionate with myself.
Absolutely. How do you see your relationship with your art and your body evolving? Are there any new forms of self-expression you hope to explore?
That is a beautiful question. Thank you. It started with my face. It started with my face being an intentional act of graffiti. And when I was doing this, after a few days, I started to notice that it changed how my energy was when I would come into a space or come into a new communication. I didn't assume, as I had before, that there was a way that I could trick you into liking me, which was sort of my default mode. I can get to a place where you find me charming or likable or something, and I can get on a good side. It's almost like an obligation that we teach children to get along, behave in a way that fits in, and that fitting in is negotiating with yourself. What am I willing to abandon about myself in order to fit in? Because the only things that don't fit in about you are the things that you need to abandon in order to fit in.
To please other people.
Yeah, and fit into that box. If you're a circle, you still got to be a square no matter what.
Yeah, no, for real. And I think, you guys as our listeners have heard it all the time. Ricky and I say all the time, you cannot pour from a cup that's half empty. People do not deserve what's inside of your cup. They have to get the overflow. So if you don't have an overflow to give, you are doing your own self-reflection right now. You are taking care of yourself and doing self-care. Remember that your cup needs to be full and overspilling, and that's how people can gain from you.
As a parent, I want to double on that. If you're a parent, your cup needs to be full and overflowing. Otherwise, you're unintentionally drawing from your children.
I was actually just thinking about that earlier today, where I'm kind of like, I was just thinking about the fact, like, when you have a kid, if you're having a bad day, if you don't have money, you're just irritated, that is your child's life. And so you go for 2 weeks straight. In a child's world, that can feel like a month of just your mom or your dad being irritated and frustrated with reality. So securing our ship and making sure that we're okay and we're more than okay, then going on to the next thing is absolutely so important. And I want you guys to really listen to that. With the holiday season especially, we go above and beyond because we want to please our families, but we're just single human beings. I say to my daughter, I'm not an octopus. I'm a person. You got 2 arms. You're a human being. You can't do for everybody right now. That's okay.
Okay. And speaking of Thanksgiving, we got Thanksgiving coming up again, you guys. Saturday, November 22nd. We'll get the link in our bio on the Sisters of the System page, so make sure you go check it out. We need to get to 1,000 followers on IG, so make sure you go and follow us. You guys, having Zoe Magnificent in the studio with us today has been nothing more than magnificent, like absolutely amazing and wonderful. Your journey has just been very inspirational. And although you do your journey for you, I am hoping and praying that people will find your Instagram page and be inspired by the work that you do, because it's amazing and it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Why don't you tell our listeners where they can find you?
So I'm on Instagram. Zoe Magnificent is my name. XO is how I spell it. Zoe Magnificent. Magnificent I spell the normal way. So XO. MAGNIFICENT. That's on Instagram, on TikTok. That's my zomagnificent.com is my website. And that's where I sell my paintings. And the prints are on a link there as well. Thank you.
Nice.
Well, thank you guys for listening to another special episode. And be sure to go to KRSMradio.org. We're actually holding a fundraiser right now so we can get some more equipment for the KRSM station. So KRSMradio.org/donate. Hit up that donation box so we can keep bringing community radio to you.
Okay. Well, you know what time it is. This has been another phenomenal, magnificent episode of
Sisters of the System.
I am your girl, DJ E.B. Marie, signing off.
And I'm DJ Ricky Furiosa.
So magnificent. Thanks for you guys.
And WDO2T in the building, baby.
All right. Good night, you guys.
Chill.